All right, thank you. Midnight Transmission, it's not really a straight up poetry reading. We like to have a lot of variety here. We just like to invite interesting people to hang out with late at night, and cool stuff always happens. At our last transmission, we had a poet named C. Marie Furman, the editor of Native Voices, a very important book. And she gave a wonderful reading, and afterwards she had some suggestions for other readers, and a person she really pushed was Gary Dorr. And it's cool that I got to look into Gary Dorr because he's a very important activist with Native American issues in general. He's a military man. He's done a lot of time in the service. He's done a lot of work at Standing Rock. I read some of his testimonies before Congress, and he's the real deal. He's doing real good work, and we're so glad to be able to, hear from him, share some of his ideas. So, Gary, are you around?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So give it up for Gary.
Hey, Tatskulawe. Inwinik was hahat yop he was sakai. Tatskulawe oikalo nunim himyuma ka latiwama. Good evening, I'm Gary. My English name is Gary Dorr. The name I just gave you is Standing Red Bear. And I'd like to wish a good evening to all the friends and relatives who are here to listen to these great words from these people who are truly artists in every sense of the word, and I'm just honored to be a part of this. I thank you to Cindy Marie Furman for making a recommendation to be a part of this. And I just thought I'd share some of the writing that I've I guess has come to me through different ceremonies on the land here in the Nez Perce Indian Reservation in our territory, our 1855 treaty territory. Now, I spend a lot of time on our sacred sites fasting for 4 days and 4 nights with no food and no water. And many times there are, as anyone who's done that, there's some great things that come from that. And some of my writing comes from that. I don't reveal everything that's going on out there, but there are some things which I can share from my story of my life and my spiritual project that I'm on. So I'd like to start with Ipaiksa, part of my one of my writing pieces. And Ipaiksa is an old Nez Perce word. It means return from that other place. And if you think about that, what that means is those who came back from the other side, those who weren't supposed to go yet, those who were supposed to bring a song back as they lay in state. And so it's a very powerful word, very, has a lot of meaning behind it. So chapter 1, I am monster, I am Pikun, I am blood, I am Nimipu, reborn, recreated, reincarnated of blood of monster's heart, Pikun and monster. I am fresh from the paws of coyote, dripped onto this land after some considerable work. I am water, I am blood of the heart of monster. I am monster. I am Nemipu, people. You add the word the in front of those words and you marginalize them. They are instead sacred titles, creations, positions in place, not things, not materials, not beasts. We are creations with a position in place, and our title is Nemipu. I sat on the heart of monster for 4 nights and 4 days, but there is no time. Time is an endless green field with no trees, no mountains, no swells of the land, spent from one moment to the next and the next until you forget when it all started. So when I say 4 days and 4 nights, I mean I occupied one moment in place, followed by another and another until I forgot when it started. And I return. They are returning, the ancestors. Some of us want to know the old ways, not all of us, but some of us is enough. That prayer was answered, Ipaiksa. They are returning from that other place. I am monster, I am water, I am blood of the heart of monster. I am sweat off the paw of Coyote. I am Nimipu. I am occupying this position in this place from one moment to the next. I am. Like a reptilian monster, I am scales. I am peeling after purification by the sun. I am scales because I am monster. I am powerful because I am monster, fashioned out of his blood, from his heart, from water. Monster ate us and killed some of us by doing that. Monster did not eat coyote or meadowlark or dogwood or couscous or camas or chokecherries. They did not need help. They are earth connected, grounded, centered. We had to be united. Monster united us. We were all occupying places in a position of death. We had to come back together. To come back together, we had to die together. Monster ate all the people, all the animals. We all were starving inside of Monster. Some of us died. Coyote told the younger ones to set the bones of the dead by all the body entrances of the monster. And when Monster died, kick those bones out first and then follow. We must take our lost ones, kicking and screaming into history, to occupy the place in this position as we once used to. The way was forgotten. Some of us are dead to the old ways. Some of us want to know the old ways. Not all of us, but some of us is enough. Some of us go back to the source and dance hard, pounding the ground until we wake the elders, the ones with knowledge, all the knowledge of both the mistakes made and the way to walk as Nimipu used to. I am Monster. Nimipu are Monster. Monster united us in effort and in mind, body, spirit, heart, and death, and in life. Monster did what he was supposed to do. He centered us all in one motion, one heart and one mind in the same prayer. The prayer was that we would walk as we used to. The movement was Coyote. The knives Coyote used to cut the heart from the monster, they may be generations. They may be the Nimipu sacred number 5. That may mean it may take 5 attempts to truly live. It may take the commitment to fail 5 times and then use whatever means necessary to accomplish the goal we set in this position in our place. Coyote did not give up. The people united with one heart and one mind in the same prayer did not lose faith. Some of the people were already dead. We took them with us. They were saved by our one heart and mind in the same prayer, the same movement by a coyote, the same faith. We prayed with one heart and one mind on their behalf, and so it must go on today. We must pray on their behalf, some of us. I am Monster. Monster saved the people. Monster centered everybody. We owe him that place of honor. We cannot deride him. He is us, and we are him. Some of us died by his living and eating. Coyote purified Monster's heart with fire and smoke before he sent Monster off in a good way. We had to die in Monster to share the one heart and one mind of people, even on behalf of the dead. In his death, we all lived, became, are. Monster died and we lived in the same moment. We live with one heart because we are from the blood of Monster's heart. We live with one mind because Monster ate us, and all we were reborn at the same time. We now, in this position, in this place, must honor the place of Monster in that position, because he lives now in this position, in my place and yours, Nimipu. We must change the story to reflect all that there is to be learned and all that there is to be honored. We curse Monster, we curse ourselves. We honor him, we honor our beginning. We bring back the old ways. We die to the newly found way of beating our children inside the missions, of beating the backs of our men who build the missions. We die to the poison brought to this land. We live again in this position, in place. We pray. We make the movement now. Some of us want to know the old ways. Not all of us, but some of us is enough. We bring back elders who remember Ipaiksa. Chapter 2. This is. Being here at this place in these consecutive moments is fast revealing itself as my raison d'etre. The ultimate security principle is knowing you are right where you are supposed to be. It is partly true in this case, but only with more explanation does it become more clear why it is only partly true. I am here in this moment, followed by another and another until I forget when these moments begin, and I am in the moments in the past. As I travel, I complete the bridge between here in this place, in this moment, and the past, and the moments that have passed. I am living in our future, and so I travel beyond time to a place and a moment where others remember the past as their present. This bridge is between us and our elders. I have a connection to our elders, a bridge, a staff, and a hand. I have been prepared for this moment in this place, my future, by 5 years in the past that are still shaping me. We all live in our future. What we carry in this future can be lost. So we return to the past to regain what we carried in the past. We travel from the mountaintop to the center of the heart. When we do, we go to the past, where the imaginative construct known as time flows slower and makes each present moment in that place our past. We return with the knowledge we might have forgotten. We come back from that place and breathe in this air and exhale songs, knowledge, lessons. This moment now in this place and in the past, in that moment, in that place, hold the promise of knowledge of what to do in the past and in the future. And so our travels become our raison d'etre once again. That's when you know that wherever you are becomes your reason. I am thankful. This is where I belong in these moments. And so a lot of this speaking is referencing the Nimipu creation story or prophecy where monster was defeated by Coyote. Coyote saved all the people from the monster who had eaten all the people. And by people, I mean the animals and the humans. And so, you know, in my work at, you know, Standing Rock and against the Keystone XL pipeline, you know, against the Stibnite gold mining here in Idaho, these are all things that threaten us as a people. They threaten our water. They threaten our children. They threaten our future generation. And so what we have to take from this is that, you know, we might not win today. Maybe tomorrow we'll win, or maybe generations after us, our children will pull the ultimate trump card, the ultimate wild card, and perform some evolutionary miracle where they're able to survive in this world that gets destroyed by the generations now. But in the meantime, what I take from the story of and I would encourage you to read how Coyote defeated Monster. You can look it up online. But Coyote defeats the monster. He kills him and then divides him up and creates the people from the flesh and blood of the monster. But you have to look at the story, and this is what I've taken from it. All the animals, all the people inside Monster were dead already. They were already monster food. Physically, they were gone from this world. But spiritually, they were still alive. Spiritually, they were still looking beyond themselves. And so what we bring into the present time today is that there are many threats that are around us. We're in the monster. We're in the corporate clutches of multinational corporations that have budgets bigger than some governments. We're in the clutches of pollution. We're in the clutches of economic despair. We're in the clutches of murdered and missing Indigenous women every single day that we're alive. We have these things. We have this suicide. We have drugs and alcoholism. We have all these different forms of violence. But we're not dead. We're not dead. Together we can come and make that sacred movement with one heart and one mind and one prayer. And maybe it's not the win today, but we speak the truth in all of these fights. That truth has to be spoken to those people that would come to harm us. We have to speak to that monster, the corporate nationalism that is not taking us as human beings. And so when we do that, what's going to happen, we know this because our creation story is a prophecy. There will be a voice that will come to Coyote. And in the start of, when you read that story, you'll see that the coyote is digging away at Celilo Falls on Columbia River, and a voice comes to him and says, "What are you doing?" That start of the story comes because the people inside the monster, the animals inside the monster, they made a prayer with one heart and one mind. They became united in their plight. And that prayer was answered by Coyote coming to them. So we look to the future with this hope, with this faith, that these fights that we're engaging in to protect the future generations, our water, all of that will come to a point that will be beneficial in some way, some form, if not for us, then the generations behind us that come behind us. So thank you for providing me with this time. And I think if you read the story of the Nez Perce creation story, and then you come back and listen to the words that I have just spoken, it'll make a little bit more sense. But I hope that it goes out to you in a good way with an open heart and open mind. Katsiyayo. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. That was wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Just really quick, like it was just making me think about like this idea of how creation stories within Native culture are actually like, resonate this, like ideas of, like when I think of trickster or coyote tales, I mean, in a certain kind of way, coyote is also a kind of resistance fighter, if you will, right? Against the monster or against, of course, there's always a lot of irony and other things like that, but yeah. Well, I mean, when you were reading tonight, it just, made me think about how like creation stories can also act as, stories of how, Native people, at least on in terms of ontology or epistemology, that, this is the type of, resistance toward, this other power that is trying to, invade or, but I like how you're also talking about now, and thinking about how corporations, they're the monsters, right?
Exactly.
We're thinking about this administration, right?
Oh, definitely.
And so anyway, but thank you for that. You were just, sorry, I was just making a comment because, you were just kind of making me think about those things. So
it brings up a good point that, the Lakota have a very similar creation story to us, to the Nimipu. And then in my work in Colombia, South America, they have almost the exact same story down there. And when I told them our story, they related so well. And then they told me, we have the same story. So, this is a universal truth, as I call it. These stories that we have, it's our game plan, our map to get out of this this bad medicine that's here in the world. And every medicine has a good side and a bad side. And so coyote is the good side to the medicine, the bad medicine that's here upon the land now.
Cool. Well, thank you, Gary.
Hey, Katsiyayo.